In a previous video, I talked about using different colors of gray paper to get the perfect exposure on your camera. And the ones that I showed you were kind of limited in how many grays there were. Well, I've got something even better. This is by a company called Color-Aid. And those of you who are in the art world like me, artists used to use these a lot. This is actually paper that is, it's coated by clay. This is clay powder that has been adhered to paper. So it's very, very matte. There's no shine at all. Like, look at this black. No matter which angle you put it at, there's no shine whatsoever. So that's really cool. So this is, and it's very color stable. This is called achromatic, so in other words, it has the hue and the saturation taken away from it, so there's no color whatsoever. This is 17 different levels of gray plus black and white, and this is great for people who want to, especially in photography, who need different levels of gray for different reasons. And one of the reasons that I use it for is to get the perfect exposure every time, and I showed you how to do this in a previous video. I'll put the link down below. One of these is actually number 4, this one here. This is actually 18% gray, and what that means is 18% of light reflects off of this. It doesn't mean it's 18% between black and white, it means 18% light reflects off of this, which is slightly different meaning. So that is in here. You've got that in here also if you want to use that as a gray card. But the way I said this in a previous video to get your perfect exposure is you do some experiments where you take some pictures and then you find the perfect exposure and then you keep that exposure on your camera and then you find one of these gray values that you put in front of the camera while you still have that setting that you like and see if the histogram goes perfectly in the middle or your exposure compensation should be right in the middle at 0. Because every camera is different. 50% on the histogram for one camera is not for another camera. Every camera is different. So I found the easiest way to get the perfect exposure is to find the perfect gray. Once you found the perfect exposure, find the gray that when you put it in front of the person's face like this, you have to be in the same spot that their face is going to be or whatever your subject is. And if the histogram goes right in the middle, then you know you've got the perfect exposure. And if it's not, you change your camera shutter speed or ISO or whatever, or f-stop until you get it right in the middle. From that moment on, anytime you go to a location, you whip out that piece of paper, that's the gray value that works with that camera, and put it, change your exposure so it's histograms in the middle, and you know you've got the perfect exposure because you can never trust the screen on the back of the camera or the viewfinder when you're out in bright sunlight or stuff like that. So anyway, this is great because these colors are totally flat and matte. There is no shine whatsoever. They're perfectly color neutral and they work great. So this is Color-Aid. It's a gray set. They're 9 inches by 12 inches, which is a perfect size. And it's by Color-Aid. And you can get these at Blick Art Materials. It takes you about a week or two to get them. They're not very fast at sending stuff. And it's about $25 for this set. But I used to use these all the time as a kid in the early 80s when I was in art school. I don't know if a lot of photographers know about this, but this is a great thing to have. And you can find other uses for gray values also as a photographer. So I thought I'd bring this up to you because this is another tool in your toolkit as a photographer that I'm sure you would find very, very helpful. A little bit of trivia here. How do you spell gray? Is it G-R-E-Y? Or is it G-R-A-Y? I always spelt it G-R-E-Y for some reason. Maybe because Aaron Gray and Buck Rogers or something like that. I don't know. But it's actually G-R-A-Y if it deals with colors. So there's a little bit of trivia in case you want to know stupid stuff like that. All right. I will see you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye.